Welcome along to your Monday in the Sheds as we look back on Sunday's fixtures in the Betfred Super League round number 24, starting at the John Smith Stadium. Huddersfield Giants 10, St Helens 18. Oh, Saints fans, you got away with one, and you know you did. Fenton Rodgers, never in the history of man was that a red card. How is a bicep a shoulder? How does the referee know it's a shoulder? Because the video referee must have said shoulder. Isn't he looking at those screens when he's looking at the replays? Deary me, never in a million years. Yellow at worst. I'm sorry, that's not a red card. We're seeing far too much of this season. Simply not good enough. Let's get to the tries. Some beautiful tries in this one. But the Wallace one, really well executed. So too was the Bibby one. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a player, land on their head like Wallace did for that one. And on the topic of Wallace, my sir, you need to put more of that sticky stuff on your hands, mate, because your knock-ons in this game were completely and utterly shocking. Great try, shocking knock-ons. Not good enough, sir. As for the Saints tries, I thought the Lomax one, nice. Robertson, beautiful play down the right edge from the Saints. Ritson away he goes, inside ball to Robertson, and over he goes. But the try of the game for me was Sione Matautia. Matautia at centre. He's played second row. He's played prop. Now he's playing centre. No matter where you put Sione Matautia, he's 9 out of 10. He turns up for the Saints. They must keep him for 2025. He's been so versatile. And with the likes of Wormsley, who's had a couple of knocks over the last couple of years, Knowles went off at the end of this game as well with another knock. They need players like Sione Matautia, who are 9 out of 10 every game, who are solid at what they do. I thought he was superb yet again in centre. Massive congratulations to Sione Matautia. I thought he was outstanding in that role. We were on the Final Whistle podcast. That's available for you now to go and download on Apple, Amazon and Spotify. We talk at length about the red cards this weekend, including that Fenton Rodgers one. Joe Dalgreen, one of our members, was filthy over that one. Get over there. Make sure you download that and listen to the podcast. You'll find it very entertaining indeed. The Saints got away with one here. I think Paul Wellington, his post-match press conference, you could tell he was very, very relieved. They needed to win this one, Saints. If they didn't, they were really, for me, looking like they could be in trouble. Two really difficult fixtures on the horizon for the Saints. They go to Warrington, of course, they go to the Lee Leopards. So those are two really tough games. Had they lost this, they really would have been up against it. I still think the Lee Saints game on the last game of the regular season, that for me is going to be do or die, possibly for both teams. That's going to be fascinating if that's how the results, go over the course of the next 3 weeks. But yeah, Saints, I think for me, we're very fortunate in this. I think in 13 on 13, I'm not saying Huddersfield Giants would have won, but I do think they'd have been right in the grind. They really, really would have been. I really feel for Luke Robinson. At the end of the game, Luke said he hadn't seen it, but he'd heard that people around him, his technical people in the box upstairs, the players thought it was a little bit harsh. It'd be interesting to see what he says about it going down the line. And of course, on a side note, it has been announced this morning that Chris Hill is going to be leaving the Huddersfield Giants at the end of the season. That's an interesting one. Of course, signed I think it was a 2-year contract, I think. But yeah, he's decided that they're going to part ways. Been a good servant for the Giants. I think he's been a good servant for Rugby League. We wish Chris well wherever he's going to go next. But of course, that opens up. I would expect a decent bit of wedge on the cap because I don't think Chris Hill would have gone there on pennies. So that's going to be interesting to see who plugs that gap for next year at the Huddersfield Giants. Right, let's get into the 3-2-1 for this one. Starting with the number 3 points. I'm going to give it to Robertson. We haven't given Harry Robertson man of the match at Super League Raw yet. Why? Because we don't want gravy trains. We don't follow the crowd. Robertson for me has had some really, really good games. If you remember the Robertson Eckersley one against Wigan, it was a bit of a toss-up that, but Eckersley on the night was better. We only give 3 points to players that we believe deserve it on merit, not because they're the next big thing. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, Kai Taylor-Ray for Warrington got 3 points. We didn't give him 3 points. Josh Fewlis was man of the match by a country mile in that game. So we always try and keep it real. But in this one, I think Robertson deserves 3 points. Took his try really well. But what I'm really liking about Robertson is, he's making the odd gaff here and there, but for such a young player, really good consistency, good under the high ball. I mean, he got one of those, he had a bit of a shocker on one of them. I appreciate that. But, he's a young kid. But overall, his all-round game, when you take into account his age and who he's playing against, seasoned professionals in a Saints team that, let's be fair, at this moment in time, is weakened. He really is holding his own. He's running some exceptional lines for the Saints. He's there on the shoulders to get the try. Nice try, as we've already said, courtesy of T. Ritson. And I just think, on this particular game, I think for me, he was my man of the match. So I'm going to give Robertson 3 points. I'm going to give 2 to Tui Lolohea. Lolohea back at full back without Jake Connor, of course. 2 assists in this for Lolohea. He ran 25 times for 132 metres. Got 5 tackle busts in the game as well. He was really, we know Tui Lolohea, when he's on his game, he's an assured, safe pair of hands, quality. fully deserving of the 2 points. And the 1 point I'm going to give to Morgan Knowles. Really liking Knowles this year. I think he's got the balance of his game really right on both sides of the ball. He's putting good meters in. He's doing his shift down the middle. But defensively, is there a better defensive loose forward in the game? He's right up there. I mean, yeah, okay, Cameron Smith has got the highest tackles in Super League, but that's because Leeds haven't been playing very well and he's having to do a lot of tackles. But Morgan Knowles, he just gets that balance right. He puts some massive hits on at the right time. He's a game changer at times, Morgan Knowles. This season, I've been really impressed with him. For me, his best season for about 4 years. I'm going to give him another point. Hopefully, his injury is not too bad for you Saints fans, but it didn't look great. Will Morgan Knowles feature this side of the playoffs? Will he get to the playoffs? Again, all eyes will be on St. Helens over the coming days to see the extent of that injury to Morgan Knowles. So there you go. There's the 3-2-1. There's Huddersfield Giants against the Saints. Really, really feel for you Cowbell Army fans out there. I would have liked to have seen it 13-13. As for the Saints, job done. Professional job. You got away there with your swag bag really, really well. There you go. St. Helens won 18 points to 10 at the John Smith Stadium as we go over to the classic that was at the Cherry Red Record Stadium. The London Broncos 20, Leeds Rhinos 21, and another golden point thriller against these two sides. Oh dear, if only London Broncos had a good drop goal kicker, because they'd have took 4 points off the Leeds Rhinos and would be sitting with 10 points now in Super League, well and truly above that bottom place. I mean, Mike Eccles must be devastated, but yet again, complete and utter class in his post-match press conference. Brad Arthur as well said it, the best team lost without a doubt. It was Reece Martin versus the London Broncos. You've got to give Reece a massive pat on the back. What a performance from the Martin. This one was without him. He'd be lost, and next year they will be without him. I was almost expecting George Clooney, Brad Pitt to walk on the pitch. This was like Ocean 13. It really was daylight robbery, wasn't it? No doubt about it whatsoever. I mean, Leeds, you've got to be thankful. In the Final Whistle podcast, Mark Hill on debut was saying he doesn't want his Leeds Rhinos in the playoffs. He said he don't think they deserve to be in the playoffs based on their inconsistency in performances. What's your thoughts on that, Leeds Rhinos fans? Do you agree with one of your own when it comes to that particular one? But I have to say, so impressed in this game with the London Broncos. They were superb. Jack Compagnolo, what a try that was. Beautiful off the step. That's what we're talking about. Wonderful little jinking one, boom, have a little bit of that, and it's like, hello, Leeds Rhinos, you're going to be in a bit of a grind today. Let's get the game going. And then, of course, Reece Martin, the first one, nicely taken. Then the second one, the big chip over the top. In he goes, very reminiscent of that one at Catalan Dragons, well, at Headingley against the Catalan Dragons in 2023. There's a little bit of knowledge for you, ladies and gentlemen. Took those two tries really, really well. And then, of course, back came the London Broncos, Wayne, Natoli, Kershaw. The Natoli try, a lot of people said it wasn't a try. Of course it was a try. Of course it was a try. Was there anything that suggested that his knee was on the line? I didn't see it. I didn't see it at all. But I have to say, I thought the officials on the day were quite simply shocking. We've got to start making some decisions, Mr. Griffiths. I mean, for example, the Kershaw one. Why is that going up? I just want to check he's not in touch. He's 3 yards inside the touch. What's the touch doing, man? Not acceptable. It's slowing the game down. Why are we slowing the game down? For those type of things, I will never know. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And Chris Kamara is nowhere in sight. Now, in terms of Reece Martin, his third and final try, his hat-trick try. Oh, yes, I do love a good line. Call me an architect, why don't you? Oh, it was beautiful, wasn't it? Lovely on the, just beautiful. Almost second row centre-esque, bang, that little line, little cross-diagonal line, boom, through the line he goes. Fantastic balance, rounds rock, in you go. Sensational. Reece Martin in this game, quite frankly, you Robins fans who are watching this edition of In the Sheds, oh yes, you're rubbing your hands with glee. Be careful now, you don't want to get them chapped. Incredible stuff from Reece Martin. On his way to the Robins next year, he's going to make them even better. Oh yes, the Robins, I think it'd be very interesting to see their odds for the 2025 season based on the acquisitions they've made and the squad that they've already got. As for the Leeds Rhinos, you know what, I sort of agree with Mark. Do Leeds deserve to get a playoff place this year? Well, if they finish in the playoff places, the argument would be, well, yeah, because the table doesn't lie. But I think we'd all agree they'd be very fortunate to be in the top 6 this year. But it's so compact in there. I mean, it really is so compact in there. At the end of next week, we could have so many teams locked up going into the final 2 games. Wow, just simply wow. Of course, the big problem for the Leeds Rhinos is the last 2 games are the Wigan Warriors followed by Hull KR, and I think that's possibly going to mean that they will not finish in the top 6. I'd be very surprised if they did with those 2 last fixtures. Again, what's your thoughts on that, Leeds Rhinos fans? Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? I mean, look, this was just a sensational game of rugby league football. It really was. It was so tight. It was so good. It was just brilliant. It's Sunday night. Oh, Sunday afternoon fare. I mean, at times I was nearly choking on my roast potato. I mean, it was that good, wasn't it? I mean, that's what we want. Sunday Rugby League. Is there export better? Forget your Man United against Liverpool. Who cares about that? London Broncos Leeds served up a dish that was quite simply sensational. Absolutely sensational. Brilliant performance from London. Great, great resilience from the Leeds Rhinos. Oh, do you know what? I could watch games like this all day long, and neither of them are my team. That's what it's all about. Outstanding. Right, let's get into the 3-2-1. Should we give a couple of shout outs as well for players who aren't in the 3-2-1? I thought Emmanuel Wayne took his try well. I thought Reece Kennedy again, it prop forward. We've been talking about Reece Kennedy a few times over the last couple of weeks. Reece Kennedy again, another sound performance from him. 12 carries, 113 metres. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. He got a tackle bust in there as well. Disappointed with Maludi. I thought his all-round game was good. I didn't like the fact that he was play acted at one point. He got a bit niggly, didn't he? He made a massive error for that, where he knocked it out, because, of course, Frawley was probably going to do that for him. But overall, though, his stats really do stand up. 11 tackle busts, 20 runs, 133 carries. Fair play. I mean, that's a great knock. Like I say, just you get a bad taste in your mouth when you see certain things on a rugby league field, and he needs to just tidy that up a little bit for me. Does Akeem Maludi. I thought Bayonet had another good game as well for the London Broncos, and I also thought the Josh Rourke try was a try. I'll just say that now. Can somebody tell me what the difference was between the Reece Martin second and the Rourke one that was chalked off? I mean, I'm sorry, but if you actually look at those 2 stills, there's not an awful lot in it. The camera angle doesn't. I think for me sometimes it's like, nah, I'm sorry. You talk about conclusive evidence. Was it conclusive that it weren't Rourke? I think it was Bayonet was offside. Don't know. Anyway, there you go. Just a little side show on that one. And I have to say, as far as the Leeds Rhinos are concerned, I thought O'Connor had a good game. 33 tackles in day, 19 carries, 134 metres. He's a good player, isn't he? Jared O'Connor. He had a decent game for them as well. Croft was busy. Newman was okay, 14 carries, 143 metres. But like I say, this for me was all about London. 3 points go to, no surprises, Reece Martin. They're going to be lost without Reece Martin next year. 3 brilliant tries, of course, 4 perfect kicks. But it's not just that. You look at the other stats, 18 runs, 123 metres from Reece, 3 tackle busts, 1 clean break. He's just got all the components, hasn't he? He really, really has got all of the components. If you're going to go to IKEA and build yourself a second row, well, yeah, don't worry about it. Reece Martin will be in the box. So, quite simply, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. 2 points go to Jack Campagnolo of the London Broncos. A sensational game from this player. A try, 2 assists in the game, 20 tackles in D, got himself a tackle bust, carried it 31 times for 96 metres, clean break. He was all over this performance, wasn't he? His kicking game was really, really good as well. Fantastic performance from Jack Campagnolo. Nobody, to my knowledge, has picked him up for next year. What a pickup he could be. What a pickup he could be. Since he's come back from injury, he's really catching the eye. And 1 point goes to Lee Kershaw, the man from Wakefield Trinity that went to London Broncos this year. He got a try, he got an assist, 205 metres from 22 carries, doing the hard work as always. 5 tackle busts. Lee Kershaw, absolutely superb. Do you feel for the London Broncos like me? Would you like to see them not finish bottom of the pile? Do Hull FC deserve to finish 12th this year? Do London deserve some credit? Do they deserve to finish in 11th? Get yourself in the chat. Leeds Rhinos fans, do you agree with Mark Hill? Should they be in the playoffs this year? What are you making of your team? What's life going to be like without Reece Martin? Again, get in the chat. Let us know. And of course, in the first game, St. Helens fans, did you get away with one? Are you concerned about your pack? Are you concerned that Morgan Knowles could now be missing for another period of time? And how excited are you by Harry Robertson? Again, get in the chat on that. And for you Cowbell Army fans, well, Chris Hill departing the club at the end of the season. Let's get some nice messages in the chat for Chris Hill. I'm sure you would want to pat him on his back for the services given to your club. But there you go, another edition of In the Shed. It's a classic at the Cherry Red Record Stadium. London Broncos 20, London Leeds Rhinos 21. An outstanding game of rugby league. We will be back with more In the Sheds next week for round number 25. Don't forget the Final Whistle podcast. Download it now. And of course, you'll be seeing me tomorrow night live, 8 p.m. for Super League Raw Weekly with all of the gang. You can't beat a bit of weekly. Bye for now, folks.